Only a point between them before kick-off, nothing between them at the end of the 94 minutes. City went in front and then Liverpool came back on both occasions. It's a point apiece and it's a big hug between the world's two best managers right at the end of it. So much more to come. Stay right with us at the Etihad. More from Michael and Nigel, but first of all, here's the reaction of one of the goal scorers, Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin, it was an extraordinary game to watch. Just how intense was it?
Yeah, it was hard. To be fair, I think we played excellent. I know.
The end as well.
Yeah, it's a clear chance. Obviously, yeah, Riyad chose to chip the keeper. You know, if it goes in, it's a wonder goal. It didn't go in today, but yeah, that's it.
Did that demonstrate just how close it is between these two?
Yeah, I think so. But I think, like I said, I think today we played very well. I think we had the upper hand today, but we didn't win. That can happen. But this is the way we need to play the rest of the games.
And because it's Liverpool and another game gone, is it a better point for you than it is for them?
No, I think it's similar. Obviously, I know a lot of people spoke, whoever wins the title goes to there, but I don't think that neither of both teams would think that way. It's way too hard. The schedule is way too tough for both teams to win all the games, so we're going to try, but I think the way we play today is the way we need to move forward.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
That's Kevin De Bruyne's view. We are joined live by a fellow Dutchman of Nigel de Jong's, Virgil van Dijk. Wow, we're just getting our breath watching that. What was it like to play him?
Same. Expected. Obviously, it was always going to be an intense game. Also a game that goes end to end, I think, because obviously with the quality both teams have. So yeah, it was expected. Obviously, we don't want to concede goals at all, but unfortunately, it happened today, and I think second half was a good half for us, especially the start, of course, with the early goal. But yeah, I think overall, yeah, I think well-deserved draw, I think.
Yeah, to come back twice at a place like this against a team like that, what does that say?
That we shouldn't come from behind, in my opinion. But it is like this, you know, and a situation we have to deal with, and we have character, we have the quality, we have to stay patient, and we have to play football, especially against them. And obviously at times it's difficult. At times it's difficult to find the free space in between the lines because they press good. But yeah, eventually we, it's difficult for an opponent to keep running and keeping that same energy level and pressing level for the whole 90 minutes, of course.
Virgil, obviously Manchester City pose a different threat to a lot of teams, not having necessarily that one centre-forward that comes in Marcher. What type of threat do they pose to you? How's it different to playing other teams?
Well, obviously they still have runners in behind,
yeah.
But you need to put pressure, especially on their midfield, I think. And I think when there was no pressure, for example, on Bernardo Silva, you could play the balls in behind, or Rodri, in this case, if the centre-backs has the ball, the ball is still a long way out over the top, so you can run back and get the ball. So it's a lot of movement, especially up front with them. They move from left to right, dropping in. So you need to be very good in communication, of course.
Of course, you're going to go into halftime. With City goes in halftime with a 2-1 lead. Did you guys change the tactics coming out in the second half? Or what was the message that Klopp said also going out in the second half?
I think the main message was to start playing again. I think there were moments in the first half where we kept the ball well, we played the ball quick, and then it's difficult for City to keep that pressure up high, and especially when we have such a quality up front with the runs in behind. So we had to start playing, and obviously the early goal in the second half helps. Knock them a little bit down, but then it's key to keep playing and get your moment. So that's what we try to do. Obviously, the quality they have, they still create chances, moments of on the break because they are a fantastic team.
Yeah, obviously you were both pushing for a winning goal. Mahrez right at the end. Just give us an idea of the concentration levels you have to have in a high-intensity game like that, Virgil.
Yeah, well, you have to. Also because what you said, you're trying to find the winner. So there will be spaces on the break for both teams. And with that exact moment, obviously we lost the ball. Kevin had the ball, and I thought he was going to play the easy pass, but knowing Kevin, he saw the most difficult one and the best one. and luckily for us, Mares trying to chip it and it got blocked.
So just finally, 7 to play each, still 1 point in it. Game on?
Game on, yeah. I said it in after when we draw Chelsea away, that anything is still possible, and it still goes like this. Obviously, our run-in is tougher than City's, but it's football, anything can happen, and we will recover now. Hopefully, qualify now for the next round in the Champions League, and then we'll focus on City again for the FA Cup, and that's going to be a hard job as well. But something we look forward to. I think today as well, everyone wants to be out here today and show your quality. And I don't want to be in a situation that I'm not playing for anything this season, or I'm playing for everything, and that's why I'm enjoying. And we still have a lot of games to go until the end of the season.
Well, we're enjoying watching, and we really enjoy your company. Thank you very much indeed for coming again. Nice to see you again.
Cheers.
There we go. I'll take that. Virgil van Dijk live for us at the Etihad. Interesting to hear him talk about the intensity there firsthand.
Yeah, the intensity, and I mean, you could sit there and ask him questions all day, couldn't you? I was just listening to him then and thinking, how brave have you got to be? When you've got no pressure on the ball like that, no pressure in midfield, and he still plays a high line. He's still, willing to squeeze the play, because it's all on his head in many ways. He's taken the risk being a central defender, but when you've got that pace, I mean, a couple of times, Raheem Sterling ran at him and things like that, and you just think, wow, just don't do it. He is literally like a brick wall, isn't he? But what a player, and he, the style of play that Liverpool have makes for a fantastic, fascinating game as well.
It was interesting to hear Kevin De Bruyne feel that City had the upper hand today. They had the VAR goal disallowed, and as we said to Virgil there, they had a big chance with Mahrez right at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think they had the best moments into the game to extend the lead, first of all, but also to win the game in the end. And of course, what he said, I think he's more disappointed about the moments they created that were not converted in the goal, and especially the last one with Mahrez. But nevertheless, they didn't lose, so that's a plus point for De Bruyne and also for City. So they gain a point, and they're still ahead of Liverpool with 7 matches to go. So it's not going to be easy. Virgil said the same thing. It's game on from now on, and anything can happen. And the main thing for them is that the focus has to be in the next game, and they have to go step by step and not looking at the opponents at this stage.
Let's go back to that breathless first half, and indeed the unbelievable start from City with Kevin De Bruyne's deflected goal.
46 seconds, so no coach want to see that.
Well, the noise you can hear behind us is because Jurgen Klopp has come out. The Liverpool supporters are still in the away end, obviously not allowed to leave the stadium yet. So a lovely touch between the Liverpool manager and those travelling supporters, lucky enough to have an away ticket today. Real connection, isn't there, between the manager and the supporters. He's beaming, and he is waving to those supporters.
How can you not like this guy? I mean, I'm City biased, but you cannot dislike this. I mean, this says something about the relationship he has with his fans. He always takes the time for them. So yeah, he's a great coach for the club and organization.
Yeah, and he's got an amazing relationship with those fans. I mean, there's very few managers that can come, they can get the team, they can get the tactics, they can get everything about it, but get the place and the people as well. And he has come, and he is just the full package. These fans, the people of Liverpool, absolutely adore this man, and there's no, you can understand why. Brilliant manager, brilliant person, and he'll be happy with the result today as well.
I'm sure. Welcome back to the Etihad. More reaction to come after that incredible 2-2 draw between Manchester City and Liverpool. And we are delighted to welcome live touchline here the City boss, Pep Guardiola. Pep, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We thoroughly enjoyed watching that. What was it like from a City boss point of view?
No, the same, I love you. I think as City fans, the Liverpool fans all around the country, so maybe in the world, watching the game, it wasn't, both teams want to play, want to try to win the games. The one that's happened with the quality, both sides, the players, the quality they have. Normally, it's happened in good games.
It was incredible speed and intensity. Did that surprise you in any way? Were you expecting a game like that today?
Honestly, we were playing to be Premier League champion, and if we don't play in this intensity, you cannot compete against Liverpool, or maybe Liverpool cannot compete against us, so we know it. So going on Anfield is the same intensity for the side, and we need it, and we gave everything, and result is result. So I would say who deserves to win, I don't know. So, but we play to do it.
Pep, we always watch your games and specifically look at tactics with yourself. Was there any reason in particular why you played Jesus today? Was it to come inside with the overlap in full-back, or any other particular reason?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm an overthinking manager, so that's why I'm a genius. So if you see Liverpool, they are so tight, so high. The spaces is in the sides and in behind. In the middle is almost impossible, except in some parts. And we try to, to maybe more switch of plays and more runners because they are high, because they help to be there, because they are exceptional in that movement to regain the ball quicker, and after the threat in the transition is unbelievable. So look the second goal. We lose the ball. Alexander-Arnold put the ball inside, the more control inside Salah in the moment Mane attack. How many times has done this? 1,000 millions in these 5 or 6 years, but still they do it because they are really good. And that was the reason why. And in general was Gabriel, Raj and Phil were amazing, were fantastic in the job they done.
Yeah, you touched base already on the second goal of Liverpool. Of course, when you go into the halftime with a 2-1 lead, how disappointing is it when you come out, when you do your speech, that you have to be consistent? Yeah,
that
you concede after 46 seconds?
Yeah, I would love to say. I think you don't have any player that will learn. So it's football.
True.
So it's football. So say, no, you cannot concede a goal in the last minutes. Yeah, you can concede a goal in the last minutes. So it's football. So, yeah, Eddie was not good in the decision. We take in, and after the quality they have. So, and after we suffer, because the people here talk about tactics, but how we can talk about the reaction and mentally when you are in the locker room, like we make an incredible first half in the middle, or 2-2, because after 1 minute, and we suffered these 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. But after, again, Bernardo and Rodri, they took the ball, they took the game. And it's difficult to create chances against them, but if the last minute we have a good decision making with Gabriel pass back and Jack in the last counter-attack to push Kevin coming from behind, the chance we have Riyad. So it was a pity, because we allowed them few when it's a team that create a lot of chances, and we create enough to win the game.
But when we spoke this week, you were talking about pushing each other and 2 great teams over the last 5 years. Have we just seen that in one game again, going head-to-head, toe-to-toe, these 2 teams?
I think we respect them a lot. They know it, and I think they respect us a lot. So in the last 4 or 5 years, I think we were incredible, a nice battle. So Jurgen make me a better manager. Always I try to do what they do and the way they do. And I think the most important thing, so how many regrets can I have as a manager to my players, to our people? Honestly, it's impossible. So I know against which team we played, and no one single regret. So we were fantastic, and after 7 games, I know we have to win all the games to be champion, and maybe we're not going to do it, but how many regrets we can have when we fight again after 5 seasons until the end against this Liverpool. So we're going to try to Madrid, Champions League, FA Cup, and yeah, move forward.
Still in your hands, though.
I would say yes. Maybe tomorrow, no, but yes. We're going to sleep top of the league, yeah, that's for sure.
Great to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Jurgen.
Oh, there you go. You're going to give
me the last
over.
question, and then
This is fantastic, isn't it?
Standing
Live,
us in 10
kick
minutes.
side.
Look at this.
See you in 6 days.
Don't know how long we're going to chat, but we're going to wait.
It's not a bad
we just-
For the 2
substitution,
best
is it?
managers in the world.
We have a quality.
I told her, I told her, don't do it, but she was against United, she was in the crowd and got an elbow, and now she wanted to go there. But with the security and another guy.
You will appreciate around the world. If there's anyone we're going to wait for, it's Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. Good to see you.
Ladies.
Coach, how are you? Okay,
I'm
good?
good, yeah.
Whew, we're still getting a breath. What was that like from your point of view?
They're good. I liked it. So after the game to the boys, I said to the boys, I'm happy with a lot of things, but it feels like there was more in for us today. We could have, in all moments when we played football, I thought we caused them more problems than we did in the past. So around goals, generally we played pretty good. We remember goals which we scored here after, 30 passes, or at Anfield. Double switch, these kind of things. But what we did around the first goal, that's actually what we want to do more often. The only problem is we lose a ball, and their counter-attacks are really crazy, and you don't just shake that off. It's just, okay, be careful, maybe not in tight areas, pass there, and that's what you saw. But from my point of view, I say it's a fair result, and yeah, we will not stop chasing, obviously. We have now 2 different competitions. Champions League, very important, and then FA Cup against them as well, crazy. Yeah, and from then, when we play Premier League, we will give it a go.
When we spoke last week, you were talking about their insane football. To go behind twice here, but to hit back on both occasions, what does that say about the strength of your players?
If somebody questions the mentality of my boys or character, that would be really crazy. And how it is in football, so you need a bit of luck. The goal we scored was a great goal, but it's like inches. Ball, take it direct, one touch and in. That can happen everything. It can be in the stands, and it's the same character. You just lose the game. They started obviously the first half with a similar situation when Ali could make the save. That gave them the momentum. You could see that, and this situation gave us the momentum. So we were really, the next 10-15 minutes, we were really in control, and I like that a lot. We have to extend these phases, and then we probably can win a game against them as well.
Jurgen, another characteristic your team displays, and a lot of courage, especially at the back. I always look at you and think sometimes Manchester City were playing in behind, but you've still got that bravery to push up, to squeeze the game, to try to keep your attacks going.
Okay, it's in football it's like this. If there's no pressure on the ball, you cannot have a high slide. We had that once or twice today. But in all other situations, when Hendo could step up, because the wingers had to defend the width, obviously, then Hendo can step up. Then you saw them turning, passing back and stuff like this. But there's a moment when you take a deep breath. That's a moment when you have to drop, but you can't. That's not that easy. It's like all of a sudden, he has the ball free, no pressure, and then he chips it just in behind. We were lucky when they scored the goal and it was disallowed for offside. But apart from that, we wanted to be ourselves. And that doesn't mean a crazy high line. It just means we want to put them under pressure where they want to build. And that worked out a lot of times, not all the times. And then, you could suffer a little bit, but that's the way it is.
Jurgen, now the game has been played and you leave the stadium as well. How do you feel? How's your emotion? Do you think it's 2 games of 2 points lost or 2 points won?
No. The season is too long. But if we win today, then we are 2 points up. What is that then? Feet on the chair or what, and say that's it. They will not lose a lot of games. We will not lose a lot of games, hopefully. If we do, then we have no chance. That's fine. If we don't do, but the plan is actually to keep them under pressure. Yes, we were already in a similar situation years ago. We didn't become champion because of 11 inches. People forget that. It was a situation here, in that goal, I think, when Stones and Ederson kick the ball in each other's face, and in the end Stones can make that save. If that ball is in, we are maybe champion. A few weeks later, Burnley, similar situation. City can score a goal for that against Burnley, and that's the situation. We cannot force luck. We will just try absolutely everything to win our games, and then we will see what they do. But we have other competitions between now and then, it's all good.
Yeah. You do have other competitions, but you've got 7 league games to go. Do you think it's going to be that fine margin again that you're going back to?
Yeah, hopefully. If it's not a fine margin, then I can see them dropping plenty of points. So we have to be really nearly perfect and ruthless and force luck in these moments in games where we really just win football games, and then we will see if they drop somewhere points or not. We will face them only. Okay. Champions League, we could face them as well. So
you could,
at least one more time, but not in the league at least. So now we have just to make sure that the next Premier League games are United and Everton. So against us, they 100% squeeze both a performance out. That we can imagine that. It's not that they just give up and say, okay, we don't want. No, that will be really, really tough for us. But I couldn't be bothered about it. I'm really happy with the situation and our development, and all good. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Listen, you said last week the whole world stops for this fixture. It did. It didn't disappoint. Thank you. And thank you for joining us, Jurgen. Great to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Wow. Match day live at the Etihad. We had to wait for Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp live. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No,
big Virgil as well.
Van Dijk to throw it in as well.
Forget Virgil van Dijk.
I know.
And back to us now, sadly.
Yeah. Sorry, viewers. You're left with Michael Owen and Nigel de Jong.
Cheers, Stephen. It has been a pleasure.
I didn't mean it like that. You know that, Nigel.
No.
Even when you speak to them, as I'm lucky enough to do, and you speak to them now, the mentality of those 2 leaders for a dressing room to follow.
It's fantastic. I mean, these are the kind of coaches that you want to play for and play under as well. You had your fair share of coaches. I had my fair share of coaches. But these guys, what they did for the last 5 years here in the Premier League is just amazing. And it feels like whenever a new player comes in, he just adjusts to the system and to the mentality as well. So that says something not only from a coach on a tactical point of view, but as a man management. He understands his players to the core as well, and you know the way how he got a reception here from his fans is also second to none. And then also, of course, the little chat that they had with Guardiola and Klopp, that says also something between the two of them. So, yeah, I loved. If I was still playing in my high days, I would still love to play under one of these two coaches.
Does it make you want to get your boots on when you listen to those two and you watch a game like today?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think it's the culture that they've created at their respective clubs, isn't it? You can't do that, you know, in 6 months, in 1 year even, and both of these managers have had time to, you know, to imprint that style of play, that culture within the club, and it just shows you, you know, if you've got the right man and you give them time and you give them money and you give them everything that they need, then they can create two teams like this. And as we said before the game, two of the best teams we've ever seen going head to head. It doesn't get much better than that. That first half, I was literally I was falling off my seat, let alone on the edge of my seat. It was absolutely brilliant, and everything the game should be about.
I'm fascinated to hear Jurgen Klopp there go back to previous seasons and those fine margins. And that could be the difference again as we stand here now with 7 games to go, Nigel.
I think so. I think it's now just a matter of the fact who's going to make the first mistake. You know, this game is just out of the way. You know, the two biggest rivals play now both head-to-head games, so that's out of the way. So now they have to make sure that they just continue winning their games. And if nothing happens, obviously City is going to be the champion at the end of the season. But I think we're still in for some drama in these next upcoming 7 games. So obviously I'm biased, so I'm hoping that it's not going to go Liverpool's end. But at the end of the day, it's good for the Premier League that it's still so close, because it goes till the end. Yeah,
and from Liverpool's point of view, you said right at the start at 1 o'clock UK time here today, they must not lose, and they haven't, and they've twice been behind.
Yeah, and I almost think that in that last 20 minutes, both managers, if you'd offered them a point, they would have taken it. And the players on the pitch, I thought they both played, even though they still went for it because it's just in their blood to go for it. I still think that they were quite happy with a draw. Liverpool didn't want to be out of this title race, and they would have if they had been beaten today. Manchester City, we're a point ahead. Do we need to risk it? I think both teams reasonably happy at the end of it with a point each.
A game of the highest order. We've brought you the two world's best managers live here, Titchside as well at the Etihad. What a day in Manchester. They take a point.